Today's episode of the BS Podcast is brought to you by SeatGeek, our presenting sponsor and the only fan-friendly app for buying and selling tickets for sports and music. October, baseball, hockey, basketball, NFL, college football. You need SeatGeek. Drop your old ticket app. Use one bill for 2016. Buy tickets. Enter stadiums on your phone. Download the free SeatGeek app or go to SeatGeek.com. We are also brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. They bring the mortgage process into the 21st century. You can do everything on your phone or tablet. If you're looking to refinance your mortgage or buy a home, check out Rocket Mortgage today at quickenloans.com/Bill Simmons. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLS. ConsumerAccess.org. Number 3030. Again, quickenloans.com/Bill Simmons. Quick reminder. Actually, it's not a reminder. It's an announcement. We're doing a little Keeping It 1600 live show Thursday, October 27th in LA at Cinefamily, an old silent movie theater. Cool Hollywood venue. All four guys together for the first time. It's going to sell out quickly. There's only space for about 120 people, but if you want to go check out our website. Don't forget about Any Given Wednesday. We return at 10 p.m. on HBO with 6 straight weeks of shows this week. Bob Costas, Al Michaels, and Vince Staples. They went to college together, I think. Don't forget to check out TheRinger.com and our ongoing and Mammoth NBA preview. Don't forget about our podcast feeds on the Ringer Network and the Keeping It 1600 pre-debate, post-debate shows on Facebook and Twitter on Wednesday night. And thanks to everyone in Boston. Sal, I was with our cousin on Friday and Saturday night. We raised a nice chunk of money for the Harvard Scholars at Risk.
Nice.
Thanks for everyone who showed up. Great to see everybody. Great to be back. Got to watch the Pats game with my dad. And, actually, let's start. Start it up, Tate. All right.
Yeah.
So my dad has had the same electronic setup since 2004. He went to Twitter when they moved into their house that they bought in Beacon Hill. They moved from the suburbs to Beacon Hill. Mm-hmm. And he goes to Twitter in 2004, like 5 months before the Red Sox won the World Series, and just gets the plasma, gets this whole, they set it up. It's like 12 and a half years. The setup is so, I put it on Instagram. He's got a VCR Plus, and it's gigantic.
Let me look at this.
It's got all these things. It doesn't have a Blu-ray. His TV is like, it's out of a time warp. I realize my dad has become old. I might have to call him at the end of this podcast.
This is your
to make fun
fault.
Of him.
You need to take over.
12 and a half years.
It's too long.
12 and a half.
A lot's
I'm like,
happened
Dad,
to you and everyone's status in 12 and a half years. You need to get in there.
We've won 3 World Series since he fixed his TVs.
Send him to Puerto Rico for a weekend and just get in there and take over.
We're watching.
I'm looking at it now. Wow.
We're watching the Pats game on this old TV that he's like, I paid a lot of money for this TV. I'm like, Dad, it paid off. You had it for 12 and a half years.
Yeah.
We watched the Pats game, and a deceiving win. I'm sure you didn't watch it.
I did. What do you mean?
Did you watch it?
Why are you sure I didn't watch it?
Well, there were a lot of games going on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no.
It was deceiving. Marvin Lewis really helped us out. Yeah. I'm worried about this. I mean, Jamie Collins didn't play yesterday.
You had one linebacker, and you're still winning. You're still creating safeties and everything else.
I know.
Like
Hightower played the game of his life.
Belichick win, I think.
The AFC is terrible. The Pats are the best team in the AFC, and I'm genuinely concerned about their defense. And then you look at Pittsburgh, which Roethlisberger's out. Roethlisberger with his annual injury to kill everybody's fantasy team and gambling. They should have known. I think we talked about it last week.
Well, I was going to say we're no closer to figuring out this league this week than any other. Terrible losses by the Steelers, Falcons, Broncos, Eagles, Raiders, and Packers. Everyone we had in either the first tier or the second tier looking to move up. And I don't know. What do you take from this league?
It was good for your team. Your team, though.
My team, yeah.
I have your team ranked 3. Like legitimate, not like,
really?
It's just like, I think you have the 3rd best team.
You know what's funny? I can't even enjoy it because I have to defend Romo.
I know.
Like I come on this podcast every Monday for years and deal with excruciating losses, and now I come in and I have to defend Romo. And just pulling up 10 minutes ago, I swear on my kids this is true. I pull into the lot and I have to show my ID because no one knows who the hell I am. And I pull out my Cowboys wallet to get my ID, and the security guard's like, "Yeah, Cowboys fan, all right." Gives me a fist bump. He's like, "Let's keep it rolling." I said, "Yes, let's keep it rolling." Big surprise. Yeah, he's like, "Yeah, Jerry, do the right thing. Don't mess up the mojo. Keep tacking there." I'm like, "All right." I'm late for this stupid podcast. Give my ID back.
I don't know what I thought he solved it yesterday, and then Weinberger was just talking to who runs BSMG, worked at the NFL Network forever, was just adamant, like when Romo's healthy, he's playing. This is what our cousin Jimmy said. Cousin Jimmy this weekend, we were at dinner at like midnight on Friday night because we landed late.
Yeah.
And I was like, you realize Romo's going to lose his job if they win this weekend. He's like, no, he won't. Like Jimmy did the thing where he's just adamant.
Right.
And he's like, he's a member of the Jones family. He really is. He's like the surrogate Jones. Like, there's no way they'll do that to him. And he goes through, lays out this whole case.
Yeah.
I don't see it. They look so good yesterday. You can't mess it up. And plus, if you we talked about this last week, if you bring him in now and he's not 100%, he gets hurt again, whatever, and then you have to bring Dak back.
Well, that's what I worry about because they bring him in. First of all, he's being treated like he's Whitehurst. What's his name? Yeah, this is ridiculous.
He's like the 8th best quarterback in the league.
My buddy Darren just pointed out he's 3-1 last year, 12-3 the year before.
Right.
This is a great quarterback who puts together remarkable records. And I wish I could enjoy Dak Prescott. He's doing a great job. We're used to our backups never coming through. He's doing everything we need him to do. But that shouldn't be the lead every story with the Cowboys. We have a running back who's got 4 straight games of 130 yards or more. He leads the league in rushing by like 120 yards.
He's awesome.
The defense, no one's ever going to convince me that Tony Romo would blow games that the defense held Cincinnati to 0 through 3 quarters, held Green Bay to 6 through 3 quarters in Lambeau. These are all winnable games. Dak Prescott's doing a great job, but they're all winnable games. He had an interception and 2 fumbles. He lost 1 fumble yesterday. Let's not get too crazy about what's going on here.
Nice kid.
Good kid.
Good kid. The little tidbit today about how he had Kanye tickets last week, decided to pass them up.
It's in Sports Illustrated. Right
yeah.
Out. Yeah.
Didn't want to get home after midnight, screw up his routine, gave up Yee.
Smart. It's going to be great for us down the stretch.
Here's another thing. Not to throw water on your sails, but maybe a tiny splash. So you lost to the Cowboys by 1. You barely beat the Skins. To the Giants.
Giants, yeah.
You barely beat the Skins.
Right.
You beat the Bears. Mm-hmm. You beat the Niners.
Yeah, Romo never had such an easy first 4.
You beat the Bengals, who are 2-4 and poorly coached and not the same team that they used to be. And then you beat the Packers, who they look like something's wrong. So you don't have a great win yet. You haven't played any of the top 5 teams. I'm making the Romo case. It'd be like,
I got you.
I think if Romo had been healthy, your record's still 5-1.
Right.
But
we're an underdog in 2 of those games. I think was that it? Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I like watching the offense. I think Dak's fits
fun
with whatever's going on. And then not doing this without Dez is amazing.
Well, that's the other thing. How is Dez feeling? It's especially a killer just in Green Bay, like a place we can never win. We're snake bitten in Green Bay, and then they go and do it there. And that's it.
I have one more point that's getting obscured. I have not heard anybody make this yet. Jerry Jones, much maligned. Everyone makes fun of him. He's a crazy person. Wild card. Great draft.
Yeah.
2016, one of the great drafts.
Oh, yeah.
He drafted probably the best running back that's been drafted in the top 5 since who? Tomlinson? Has there been a better top 5 running back?
No, I don't think so. That's pretty good.
Then they steal Prescott, which was the best after the 2nd round quarterback pick.
Right.
I don't know, since Brady.
Right.
Maybe there's somebody since then that
passed
I can't
on
remember.
Cook, the Michigan State. Everyone's like, what are you doing? You passed on all these guys.
He literally built the team for the next 12 years, and everybody's like, this guy's crazy. He thinks he's a GM.
Give him a little
really nice
here.
draft. Give Jerry some dap.
All right.
So you have a bye week.
Bye this week.
You have Philly and Cleveland. That's nice. At Pittsburgh, Roethlisberger's probably back wearing like a 20-pound knee brace.
They'll scrape his knee out. He might even play this week. You'll see.
Baltimore, Washington, Thursday night, Thanksgiving. I think that's Thanksgiving, right?
The Washington, yeah.
At Minnesota on a Thursday night. At the Giants on a Sunday night. And then you finish with Tampa, Detroit, Philly. That looks like 11 or 12 wins.
I'm not going to go crazy, but all winnable games. Like, if we can go to Green Bay and win, if we could
you get a 1 seed
by a lot. I'm not falling into
Could you get a 1 seed? True or false? You think you get the 1 seed?
Tell him to stop.
True or false? You want the 1 seed?
I'm going to get that security guard and bring him in here.
So I got power poll. I got top 5. Vikings, Pats, Cowboys, Seahawks, Falcons.
Isn't there just a top 1? Isn't it just Patriots? I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, but...
No, I don't think anybody has a perfect team this year.
The most consistent team.
I was really impressed by the Falcons, and they got hosed on that PI, and that was a terrible call. And I'm going to make my annual plea.
Yeah.
That should be reviewable.
Yeah, you think
you
so?
You should get one a game where you're like, we thought there was PI there. Let's review that.
So everything's reviewable. You could use that
just once. You get to review one PI a game if you're. I think they just add that wrinkle because it was a
pass
killer.
Interference, but I have a problem with throwing the ball up in the middle of the field in double coverage.
Well,
and he
it's
did
4th
hook
and
his
10
arm.
though.
He hooked his arm for
it's
sure.
4th and 10 though.
Yeah, I know, but it was like a Hail Mary at the 50-yard, like it was just looping and 2 defenders back there. It's like, all right, this is going to have to be a great Julio catch, and Sherman did it in such a way that the ref couldn't see it or whatever. But yeah, they got the fact that Ryan threw the interception earlier, which is what killed him.
So I have tier 2, Chiefs, Broncos, Steelers, Bills. So now the Bills are the 9th best team.
They're back
by
up
any
there.
Calculation. Then tier 3 is the Raiders, Skins, Cards, Packers, Bengals, and I don't know what to think of any of those teams. This Andy Reid coming off a bye week, which
16-2
House
now?
jumped on Friday. You did on Cousin South Sure Thing. How'd you do this week?
2-1 this week.
2-1.
But I
Nice.
lost the best bet though.
Yeah, you're
Philly was the best bet. Terrible.
Not sure what happened there. Did you know about the Lane Johnson right tackle
No, I
getting
knew about
suspended
that,
thing?
but Jordan Reed was out. I didn't know about Jordan Reed being out
Right,
for sure.
that should have
That
helped.
would even it out a little
Kirk
bit.
Cousins throwing the awful pick.
They went crazy, but yeah, that was a bad pick, and we'll discuss it later. But Carson Wentz, maybe if they haven't completed the statue that's going to replace Rocky on the steps in
Right,
Philadelphia,
maybe wait till he gets to 5 wins.
till he can catch up on a pass rush up the middle. It's obvious to see, but
Can you remember not being able to get to 10 teams that you felt good about? I don't ever remember a season where I couldn't get to 10.
I know. I
do not feel good about the Raiders, Washington, Arizona, Green Bay, or Cincy. And if you remember 3 weeks ago, I said to you, the AFC South sucks. We should bet on Tennessee plus 900.
Yeah.
And they might win the AFC.
What is it
the
now?
AFC
Do we
South. It's like plus 200 now.
Just another sloppy game, and you called it. Like Collinsworth has to sell it. Just a sloppy, bad Sunday night game.
Yeah, I have Michaels on my show tomorrow. I'm going to ask him in the dressing room whether we need to have an intervention with Collinsworth. He's like, Brock Osweiler, what he's done these last 2 drives. I'm like, the Colts defense is terrible.
Exactly.
Lamar Miller broke 11 tackles for a touchdown.
Oh, that Jalen Strong, Baz. That's the best of his career right there.
The Colts were so bad. They're so poorly coached.
Yeah.
And, that game was...
Let's just say, like, when you have the ball with 2:20 left, up a score, the other team has 2 timeouts.
You can't go backwards.
You have to be more inventive. I know Frank Gore had a good game, but it can't be a wedge up the middle every time. You have to get a first down, or you're going to lose the game. I think honestly, that's what you have to instill in your players. It's too much biding your own time and figuring out like you're gonna win just punting the ball. It's not going to happen.
Collinsworth's like, they figured out this O-line. Left side's run block, right side's pass block. I'm like, they haven't figured out anything. These teams suck.
Yeah, really
these
bad.
are 2 5-11 teams that are fortunate enough to be in a good division. I flew back on Virgin America last night, and it was a 5:45 flight. I got to watch basically the second half of your game, and then the entire Colts-Texans game.
Good for you.
And I was just thinking, and of course not the Dodgers game because they didn't have FS1, which was, I'm following that on Twitter. But God, football is just not good right now. It's just not good to watch. Colts Texans was an awful football game.
It was bad, and I don't begrudge anyone for making money. This is a brutal game, and make as much as you want. And Osweiler bothers me. 4 years, $72 million. Is there a guy just dropped into a better situation? 4 years, $72 million. You're in a crap division. You're on the first place team in a crap division. You have, Hopkins and Fuller are dynamite receivers.
Hopkins is bummed.
You have a line that protects you, and he still barely or can't get it done. I'm not an Osweiler fan.
Lombardi and I were texting during the game yesterday, and I was like, can you believe they gave Osweiler $72 million? And immediately he texts back, it's worse than the Lufthansa heist. Whatever, Lufthansa? What did you say? Lufthansa heist.
Everything relates
so
back
funny.
to Goodfellas.
It is amazing. $72 million for Brock Osweiler,
Yeah.
and somehow he knocked the Patriots out of the 1 seed last year. But then, he did look good the last couple of drives, even though the Colts D's terrible, and it makes me think maybe he just needs 3 hours to warm up.
Is that it?
If you can just get through the first 3 hours with him, like hour 4, the guy is really good.
Right. Yeah. Well,
Maybe the blood needs to. He's so tall, it needs to settle in his body. Hey, actually, you know what? Let's do our Don Julio shot of the week.
All right, Thursday night.
Don Julio, the world's original handcrafted tequila with multiple unique tequilas, including Don Julio 1942, the best luxury tequila you'll ever drink. And every week we do a shot of the week, which can either be Monday night or Thursday night. Mm-hmm. I'm dominating Don Julio.
I'm terrible. I think I'm 1-4.
You don't like drinking. I love drinking.
I don't like these night games. That's what I don't like.
You've never been a huge alcohol guy, and I love alcohol. So I'm dominating the Don Julio shot of the week. So we can pick between Monday night, which is Fitzpatrick, the current Jets quarterback, against Carson Palmer, next year's Jets quarterback.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm predicting it now. What's that line
7.5. Arizona favored by 7.5.
I'm staying away from that, going to Thursday night, I think.
All right. Well, the Thursday night game. Well,
who do you like in the Monday night? Just out of curiosity.
I'm gonna use my Don Julio shot for the Jets. I think it's too many points. I'm not settled on Arizona, and that's good news for Arizona.
I can't take Fitzpatrick on the road with mediocre receivers. Right. I'm gonna move my Don Julio shot of the week to Thursday night, which.
Well, why don't you give me? You didn't send me your lines again.
I have them right here.
All
Look,
right.
Yeah.
Tate, you have to monitor this better because it's too much cheating going. It's blatant.
Tate's in a personal hell right now.
He is? What happened?
The Panthers are 1-5. The Panthers have to go 9-1 to make the playoffs.
So let me ask you something. The two bye week teams this week are the Cowboys and the Panthers. One's 5-1, the other's 1-5. When Romo went down the preseason, if I said to you, I'm like, Simmons, one of these teams is going to be 5-1, the other's going to be 1-5. How much of your HBO salary would you bet that it would be the Cowboys? Like, how many given Wednesdays would you?
At least 30 episodes.
30 given Wednesdays, you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we had
It's
that
crazy.
wins pool we do every year, which is one of the great great things ever invented. Mike Tollin had the first pick and took the Panthers.
Smart.
And they're 1-5. And none of us were like, whoa, terrible pick.
No.
We were like, whoa, nice pick.
They have 15 wins. You have to figure they'll have 10 or 11, right, Tate?
Tate thinks they should fire Ron Rivera. He's upset with the defense and just everything.
Defense is
but
so
Tate's
bad.
a very passionate young man.
It's a defensive coach.
It's a defensive.
Defense so bad.
It is
It can't
incredible
all be
how
Josh
bad they are.
Norman, though, right? Like, you heard about their defensive schemes, and it would put less pressure on the cornerbacks and the safeties, and that you just don't see it at all this year.
So Carolina has given up 22 that first game. They gave up 27 to the Niners. That should have been our red flag. Remember when they couldn't close that Niners game? We had all that money on the Panthers.
Right.
They gave up 22 to the Vikings. Mm-hmm. They gave up 48 to the Falcons, 17 to that crap Bucks team, and then 41 to the Saints. That is not good.
Really bad. But is there anything funnier than Cam Newton seeing him celebrate and then just deadpanning that with that stupid hat in the press conference afterwards? He can't. I mean, I'm okay with almost every kind of celebration, but I think you have to know where you are at the time. The Panthers score to go down by 2. There's 2 minutes left. And Cam is thinking about running into the tunnel, doing some kind of celebration, and quickly realizes, like, oh no, we have to make this 2-point conversion.
Yeah, this might be more important.
Like, hey, you have the 2-point conversion, and you left Drew Brees 2 minutes left to kick a field goal. Like, you're gonna lose this game. Try to focus here.
You know, yesterday in the Pats Bengals game, Vontaze Burfict went at Bennett's knees from behind, and the whole Pats team was furious. So then, like a little bit later, Pac-Man went at Gronk's feet when he wasn't looking. So he started yelling at all of them. And then Burfict comes over because he's a complete jackass. And
how could you see all this on your father's RCA TV?
Could barely see through the plasma. But so Gronk gets a penalty and knocks us backwards when we were about to clinch the game. And he went over and Belichick just laid into him. And he's very apologetic after the game. And you look at that compared to Ben McAdoo with Odell.
Oh, yeah.
Odell takes his helmet off. Like, that literally could have cost him the game.
Sure.
It was 15 yards on the kickoff.
Yeah. And he's fornicating with the kicking net. Like, it's hilarious.
It just doesn't happen with Belichick or Mike Tomlin or the top coaches. That doesn't happen.
It should be enough. It should be enough that you're streaking down the Giant Stadium, the sideline for 70,000 people are cheering for you. Like, that should be enough.
Or just do the soccer celebration of, like, skid into the corner or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
As Weinberger said this morning, though, he is incredible.
Who are we talking about?
Odell.
Yeah.
I really have to go back to Jerry Rice.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last receiver that I can remember, like just takes a slant and he's just gone.
Yeah, you
like
don't have a
who has
chance.
done that since him?
No, I don't know.
There's been guys who go straight line deep, but not somebody that can just take a 10-yard pass and he's already at full speed and he's just gone.
You feel
Nobody
like you're
does
watching
that.
Alabama against Troy State. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like there's so much separation. And
He's
so
incredible.
fast.
He single-handedly won that game for
He
them.
is. Yep.
All right, Thursday night.
Chicago at Green Bay.
Oh, welcome to What's Wrong with Aaron Rodgers week.
Oh, right. That's
Yeah.
another one.
It's
Yeah.
official today.
I don't know what
Lots of
happened to that
shows
team.
with a white guy and a black guy looking at each other with a girl in between them where they ask each other what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers. Over and over again.
I love the Sharp, the promos there for what's his name, Bayless and Sharp. So crazy.
We should do a segment every episode where we just imitate one of those shows for 1 minute.
Okay. I thought we were doing that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Yeah, we actually are.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sal, I'm going to tell you something.
Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers is done.
What?
Aaron Rodgers is done. We've seen the best of him. He doesn't take this seriously anymore. He started dating celebrities. He does not care. Aaron Rodgers will not be in Green Bay in 2 years.
I disagree. I think he's going to be there for the next 25 years. I think you're watching the games wrong. Your father's got a television. You need to upgrade that TV. Aaron Rodgers is still the best one out there.
We'll be back after this. All right. I have Packers by 7.
Oh, all right. You
At
went a
home.
little low. I said 8.5. It's 9.
Ooh, I like the Bears. That's going to be my Don Julio shot of the week. Chicago.
You're taking Chicago.
I think
Okay.
Green Bay stinks. I just
I
don't
don't
think
know
they're
what
good at
happened.
football.
That Detroit game, I thought they figured out the offense. I really did. They almost still blew that game, but at least the offense was. But he does look lost, Rodgers, sometimes. Very strange.
The yards per attempt is always a good one to look at. Mm-hmm. And it's like he's like 6 per attempt. Yesterday, at one point, he had like 19 attempts for 90 yards or something. It's
Right.
really, you just can't have it. He's not getting big plays anymore. Kevin Clark had an interesting theory that I hope I don't step on. I hope he's not going to write about this week. But we were in the Ringer Slack talking about NFL stuff, and he was like, he's lost like enough athleticism that it's made a huge difference.
Really?
It's like year 12. He's not those hocus pocus crazy athletic plays that he used to make.
Yeah.
He lost like 11% of his. It's almost like an NBA player who used to be above the rim
down
early
a
in his
little bit, a
career,
little
and then
bit.
you come down a little bit, and suddenly
Yeah.
you're not making those plays.
And
Interesting
conversely,
theory.
Eddie Lacy has somehow gained 35 pounds in 6 weeks.
He's gained
Does
all
it-
the weight.
Right? Doesn't it seem like it? Like, he didn't even have terrible stats. I think he had like 65 yards on 17 carries. But
Hey, before we get to the Sunday games, oh, what do you think is wrong with Aaron Rodgers? By the way, nothing.
no, I don't know. I just told you in my Sterling Sharp voice. I don't know. I think they'll bounce back. They'll be fine. They'll be a 10-win team.
I had 7 options for what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers week. You have to pick one of these options
Oh,
if
good.
you're a talking head. Something is definitely wrong with Aaron Rodgers. That's one.
Right.
Relax.
Oh.
You got to do that where you got to imitate the relax. That's number 2. It's all Mike McCarthy's fault. That's number 3. Bad system. Aaron Rodgers is rebelling against this system. Lousy supporting cast.
Okay.
Jordan Rodgers, the Bachelor, the Bachelorette
Oh, that
guy.
threw off his mojo,
Yeah, threw off
huh?
his game. He's been mad about it all year
Wow.
and lost his focus. Olivia Munn, we've already mentioned her. And then 7, the race card. Aaron Rodgers was never that good. If Aaron Rodgers was black, everybody would be going after him right now. Somebody's going to say that this week.
I guarantee it. I'm going to say relax. I'm going to go with
Maybe relax?
Yeah.
I don't think he looks the same. Before we get to the Sunday game, Sal,
Yeah.
remember that time we watched an entire Sunday of football at Buffalo Wild Wings outside of Dallas for a Cowboys game? It
Yeah.
was fantastic. So I did a Buffalo Wild Wings read on Friday for House, and he started. What would you describe the sounds he made, Tate?
He was salivating, to say the least.
It was like heavy breathing. It was like
Really?
almost like listening to a serial killer stalk.
We may have to go there. I haven't eaten
sauces. But it was
Have
all
you done
genuine.
wings with House for House Eats?
It needs to happen.
Yeah.
We might have to do Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
21 signature sauces and seasonings to choose from. A great lineup of cold and refreshing beers on tap. A collection of wall-to-wall flat screens so big it will make your head spin. Buffalo Wild Wings covers all those details to add up to the kind of game day experience fans can appreciate, and they do it because they appreciate fans. Win or lose, if you're a fan, you're still a winner if you're enjoying the best game day atmosphere there is. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. They do it for us, and they do it for Joe House because they're football fans. All right, Sunday is an effed up day for football watching. There's a London game. Then there is like 11 early games.
No, I know.
And then there's 2 late games.
There's
10 early games.
No, there's three late. No, I know. I was all over this. There's 8 early games and 3 late afternoon.
I think there's 2 late afternoon.
I think San Diego, Atlanta is a late afternoon.
Did they move that to late afternoon?
I think so.
Oh, well, that would be good. All right, because
that
that
was
was
too much. 8 and 3 is too crazy with the London game.
And Steelers Pats was going to be one of the games of the year, and now Landry Jones.
Yeah.
So, all right, where do you want to start? We'll start with London.
I am right. Yeah, let's start with London. Giants technically at the Rams, but in London.
The British people will love Odell Beckham.
Oh, sure.
They'll like all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have the Giants favored. Oh, I didn't realize it was London. Can I redo my guess?
Whatever you want to do.
I have the I'll do Giants by 3.5.
Okay. I looked at this for like a solid 2 minutes. Like that's 120 seconds, and I couldn't figure out this line. And then I thought to myself, what the hell am I doing? This is a stupid game. Just pick something. And I said pick them, and it's Giants by 3. Both 3-3 teams, so you'll get that one. You were closer. I don't know. I keep track. I'm going to mail you this, by the way, because this is turning into a good document. I keep track of legitimate wins, legitimate losses, and then the either-or games. Mm-hmm. The Giants do not have a legitimate win this year. They've played 4 either-or games, and they lost twice. So at least the Rams have had a legitimate win. I don't think the Giants have a legitimate fan. I honestly don't. I watch with Giants fans, my friend Nick, our friend Brad, and they go, I mean, it is back and forth between how much they hate Eli Manning and Nassib should be in, and Beckham's best days are behind him, and then he breaks one free down the sidelines or on a slant. Yeah. Beckham's the greatest in the world. Why the fuck is he taking his helmet off? Get him out of there. He shouldn't play again. He should never play again. Like, it's crazy watching with Giants fans.
Can you tell them what you did to Brad with Lenny Dykstra yesterday?
I had a Facebook Live check-in after the early games. I had Lenny Dykstra, Corolla, and Brad were with me.
What could go wrong with those 3?
I'm like waiting. I'm just begging to get fired, right? Putting them on a live thing. Like Lenny and Brad. But anyway, so, we talk about Lenny Dykstra, and I'm like, Lenny, you have your book here. You talk about your time in jail and everything. And Brad here, who's been in jail, he said all that jail stuff was bullshit that you mentioned. And Brad's like, I did not say that. I never would say that. I want to tell him I didn't say that. And Dykstra's looking at him. He doesn't know what to think about this. He doesn't know who to be mad at. We're in Corolla's warehouse with all these $1 million cars. He's spent the first half hour trying to think of how he's going to steal these cars without Corolla finding out. He's like, well, let me tell you something. I know you're not. I know you didn't say it, because if you've been in jail, you would know that that's how it goes down. He's like, I did. I've been in jail. I've been beat up just like you by cars.
Oh, God.
It's like, all right, this football podcast has turned into something else.
That's a discussion you're not going to get very often on Facebook Live.
Yeah,
people identifying with each other are getting beaten up in jail. We'll be back after this. Our cousin Sal, sure thing. All right, rest of the Sunday slate. Let's do Steelers Pats. Let's just get it over with.
But we're going to the late afternoon game.
I thought Steelers Pats is early.
No, you're all over the place here.
I am.
125.
That's late.
Oh, late. Oh, so I read this wrong. My apologies.
That's all right.
I'm only the host.
Still want to do that?
No, let's do your thing.
Washington at Detroit.
What do we make of this Washington team? They keep pulling wins out of their buttholes.
Really good without Jordan Reed. I didn't expect that at all. It was very strange.
Didn't expect it either. I didn't realize how many concussions he had.
Yeah.
That's not great.
It's a lot.
So I had the Native Americans by 1.5 in Detroit.
Oh, you went the other way. I said Detroit by 2.5. Detroit is favored by 1.5, so I get that.
So Detroit, much like the Giants, 6 games so far, 4 of them could have gone either way. Mm-hmm. They beat the Colts, lost last second to the Titans, beat the Eagles last second, beat the Rams last second, lost to the Packers and the Bears. So they might be that team that's like, it seems like they're kind of exciting, but if you've actually watched them, it's not exciting.
We have a big parlay, maybe the only one we have a chance of winning, with the Lions, the Browns, and the Niners not making the playoffs.
And when do we have to get worried about the Lions? Soon?
Well, I was trying to make a case for them to get a wild card, and I don't.
Could it be 9 wins? Could you get one with 9 wins?
Possibly. I think you were right. I think you said that last week. But they play like Washington, Houston, and then two of 3 weeks against Minnesota. I don't see it. They have Z Zenner carrying the load in the backfield. I don't think it's going to happen.
They have 2 Minnesota games left, and at New Orleans, and at the Giants, and at Dallas, and a second Green Bay.
Yeah, I don't think they're making a while. But
it feels like 8-8.
Not a great team to bet against, though. I'll say that. Minnesota at Philly.
I have the Vikes by 3.5, and I think I hit it exact.
No, I hit it exact by 3.
Okay.
But it might go up by then.
That feels like the Carson Wentz 4 interception game that every rookie QB has a bad game in like the first 8.
Yeah.
Even Brady had one, I think.
Yeah.
There's just one where it's just everything goes wrong, and then everybody's like, oh, were we right about this guy? He's due for one. That might be the game.
They're in trouble against this Vikings defense who seems to score every week. No, this is going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, if we had to do our fantasy over again, how many? That would be like a $5 defense, right?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe like 6?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Cleveland, and by the way, we should do the fantasy year over again. Are you 1-5? I'm 6-0. Nice to meet you. Are you 1-5 in our league?
I hate fantasy football so much. This week, I literally had the choice of Eli Manning and James White or Russell Wilson and TJ Yeldon. And of course, I went with Russell Wilson and TJ Yeldon. It was a 30-point swing.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Eli and White had 47 points combined or something, and TJ and...
Why do you have to do that combination, though? Couldn't you just go one and the other? But
well, those are the two. Those are my two. I couldn't decide what to do, and I went with those two. And yeah, it's just every week.
Here's what bothered me. All week I've been praising Romo. He's got to come back. He's the man. It's me against the world. And then I saw Simmons, after bad-mouthing him all week, picks up Tony Romo on the way.
Oh, I just did that for a trade bait.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, now I know he's never starting again.
It was $0. I thought it was more disturbing. I got it for $0.
They should have to pay you?
Yeah, I hate fantasy football. I just fucking hate it. Oh, it's the worst.
Speaking of the worst, Cleveland at Cincinnati.
I can't even, I know I say this every year, but I just can't figure out what's good about it. Like, I really feel bad about myself. I really felt bad about myself yesterday. Like, my self-esteem was lowered.
The draft is fun. Tate was there.
Draft is fun.
And then it's downhill from there.
I'm drafting like 7 quarterbacks next year. I'm just going to cockblock all the quarterbacks.
Just stay away from Romo.
I have Ezekiel Elliott and Gronk, and I lost this week.
Right.
Yeah. Every week, Ezekiel Elliott. He got outscored by Kristen Michael this week.
Right.
Who I was going against Damashek, who got 2 Odell Beckham touchdowns in the last 5 minutes for like 30 points. And then the Drew Brees 37-point game. But
our friend Hench is like, if Simmons can get his act together, his team could be good.
My team is good. I don't know what that means, got Terrell Pryor.
Yeah.
But this is why I hate fantasy football. Kristen Michael, who does nothing the whole game and gets a 9-yard TD and a 1-yard TD, outscores Elliott, who completely annihilated the Packers.
The whole game, he controlled it.
He was one of the 3 most important players in the entire league yesterday and got outscored by Kristen Michael.
All right.
Fuck fantasy football.
What do you have for Cincinnati, Cleveland?
I have Cincy by 8, and I like Cleveland.
Who gets this? See, I have to do all this math because you didn't send me. I said 10.5.
Yeah.
And it's 9.5. So I get it.
So you
right?
get that.
I do.
Congratulations.
Well, you want that. You want to go Green Bay Cincinnati money line parlay? Not even.
I'm not betting on Cincinnati this year.
Really?
No.
Let me ask you. I mean, who's winning that division if Roethlisberger's out for any significant time?
Pittsburgh.
Still,
Pittsburgh's fine.
Yeah. I think Cincinnati could make some noise though.
I don't think Cincy's well coached.
Cleveland, Washington at the Giants, Buffalo at Baltimore.
I have a lot of respect for Marvin Lewis, and I just don't think they're well coached.
You don't have a lot of respect for him.
Well, if he had coached a good game yesterday, I think they would have beaten the Pats.
Don't you think you go into a game saying, when we play the Patriots, we have to score 30 points to win?
They punted.
That means going on 4th and what was it, 4th and 2?
It was fourth and 1 on the Pats 49.
Mm-hmm.
And they punted, and the guy kicked it to like the 20. They gained 28 yards of field goal position.
Beat the Patriots
and I'm sitting there going, please don't go for it. We have one linebacker.
Right.
And then later on, they did this. It was 3rd and goal from the 1. They did the awful fade pattern to AJ Green that works 1 out of 10 times. Right. And then ran Bernard right into the line. It was just bad coaching.
We've discussed this before. If you ever have a doubt on 4th and 1 from midfield, do a quick poll of the opposing fans what they want, and then go the other way.
Yeah, all of us want you to.
Patriot fan wants
all of us want you to punt, please. Yeah. Because the odds are the guy's going to kick in the end zone. Right. I mean, if you have an awesome punter, I can see it. But there's like 3 good punters.
Gronk is going to break out eventually. You have to score points. When you have the ball, you have to score.
We should have been down 10 points in that game. And all of a sudden, we were up 10 or whatever. The safety was the big play, though. Right. That was Dalton was awful on that play.
Indianapolis at Tennessee. Here we go.
Oh, God. When is the AFC South going to end? Do you know that all 4 AFC South teams have a negative point differential?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, all 4 of them. The Titans lead the division. They're like minus 20.
Unbelievable.
It's really bad. It's such a bad division. Titans, Colts, I have. That's what it is, right?
Colts at Titans, yeah.
Tate just
what
music
is that,
came
Tate?
from
NFL videos.
Tate got bored.
Tate's listening to another podcast.
Tate was just Tate just audibled at us. I have Titans by 2 over the Colts, and I'm probably wrong, but I don't care.
We both had 2. It's 2.5. Let me
Titans, man.
Can we do this?
It's coming on.
We take you now to the comments of Andrew the Giant Luck. Andrew, a big division game, AFC South, against your opponent, Marcus Mariota, at the Tennessee State Fairground. Your thoughts?
It's been a frustrating year. There's no question. But our coach has a saying that resonates with all of us. It's, so what, now what? And what that means is, so what, now what? It's really what that's trying to say. And we're 2-4. We're not happy with where we are, but we can get right back on the horse today. We beat the Titans, and we still think we're a division champ.
All right. I like that. Thank you for your comments. We look forward to the match.
You're welcome.
Andrew the Giant Luck is back.
So stupid. I like the Titans in this division.
I know you do. I still haven't found the odds for them. I don't know.
Although I will say, Houston being 4-2 is outrageous, but they are.
I know.
They have 4 wins, and they still get to play.
And they could go on the road and lose by 4 touchdowns every time.
They get to play Jacksonville twice. They get Indy again. They get Tennessee again. They get San Diego. They get Detroit. My God.
Let's check. I hate spending time talking about this division, but it is compelling. Texans minus 160. 4-2, they're only minus 160. Titans, you said they were 9-1 a couple weeks ago?
When I brought it up, they were plus 900.
Plus 450 now. Colts 5-1. Jags 6-1.
The Jags might not be bad. Like, they actually have good guys.
Well, we might want to just take the other 3 teams and root against the Texans.
I think we stay away from everyone.
Yeah, you're right. I don't even want to deal with it.
Well, can we quickly talk about the 5-4 Club?
Sure.
5-4 Club has you covered. They will provide you styling advice and recommendations. They'll make you a styling profile. They'll deliver clothes to your door every month or so. Do you hate shopping? How much do you hate shopping?
I like online shopping, but I don't like shopping.
You don't like going to the store and
Nah.
Yeah. Well, this is online shopping. It's great for you.
Oh, wow.
4 style profiles: classic, casual, forward mix, shorts and button-ups when you need them, jackets and jeans when it gets colder. Free shipping, direct delivery to your doorstep. Clothes come every month or so, and it's only $60 per month. Go to 54club.com, use promo code BS at sign up, and you get 50% off your first package. That is FIVEFOUR club.com. I love online shopping as well.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Check out 54 Club. All right, let's go.
All right. Baltimore at the New York Jets.
Is this a loser leave town match?
Yeah, the Jets may have.
Jets have already left town.
They may leave again tonight.
They're going to keep leaving. They're just repeatedly going to pack up.
Get out of here.
The brother and bloodline. They just keep coming back and leaving. I have The Jets favored by 1?
Yeah, you're going to get this. I said Jets by 3. That was dumb of me. It's a pick 'em.
I thought...
So Baltimore can't win that division? I mean, Suggs is out now with a torn bicep.
Yeah. Suggs.
3-3.
Another sketchy injury for Suggs.
Yeah, but at least he's a clubhouse leader.
Suggs has an injured pituitary gland. I thought yesterday the Ravens were missing 5 guys. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I think I switched my pick on ZFL to the Giants.
Did you?
But I had them in. I had the Ravens in the Callaway Part 3, and then all of a sudden 5 Ravens
They
starters.
could have
are
won
out.
the game. I think they're just too old to last the season now. I think it's just tough.
They're like what Lombardi calls a 55-minute team.
Right.
To sit those last 5 always come to get them. What else?
Okay, so wait.
Are we still early games?
No, okay, yeah, I'm sorry. We'll get through them. Oakland at Jacksonville.
This is a nice game.
These
were 2 teams that I actually I think are a little in the right situations. I feel confident about picking them. I like the Raiders on the road because I think for whatever reason they're a little fearless on the road. And the Jags, I don't know. They have guys who can do stuff. I had the Raiders by 3.
I was way off on this one too. I may have to double check this because I still can't believe it. I said Raiders by 4. It's Jacksonville by 1.5. Yeah, and it is. Look at that. How is that?
The gambling public does not believe in the Raiders.
But you just said I like the Raiders on the road. Everybody likes the Raiders on the road. Vegas loved them in the beginning of the year, and now they turned on them.
Were the Chiefs favored by the end of that game yesterday?
Yeah, by 2.5.
Crazy.
New Orleans at Kansas City. Aforementioned Chiefs.
I had the Chiefs by 5.5.
You get it. I said 5, and it's 6.5.
What do you have for a Chiefs AFC West line?
Yeah, now you're talking.
Because
yeah, that is unbelievable with his buys. 16-2 after buys. Like if it was a 32-week regular season, he'd be Belichick. That Andy Reid. 2-1 only the Chiefs.
Chiefs are 3-2. They have Houston comes back this week, which people pay a lot of attention to certain defensive stars and not a lot of attention to other ones, but he's one of the 6 best defensive players in the league. Charles is back in some respect.
Doesn't even need to get 20 carries. And Spencer Ware
they have
lights
the
it
nice
up.
little 3-headed thing. So they need, I would say, 8 wins to win the division. They need to get to 11-5.
8 more to win the division.
Yeah. So their home games left are New Orleans, Jacksonville, Tampa, Oakland, Tennessee, and Denver.
Wow.
That feels like 6-1. And then their road games are Oakland, Indy, Carolina, Denver, Atlanta, which is tough, and then San Diego to end the season. But I think they can get to 11 wins. Yeah. So then the question is, can Denver get to 11 wins? And the Chiefs, they have not played yet, so they'll probably split.
Look that up. They haven't played each other.
They'll probably split.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think 2-1 is pretty good for them.
I like that. They were my Super Bowl champs. They're not playing like it, but
they stunk on
yesterday.
They did the old throw everyone off the scent game when they just stunk on that Sunday night against Pittsburgh.
Yeah. You just don't know what these night games. I think the night game should be worth a third. Honestly, I think it's time to weight these. Like Denver played last week at night.
Yeah.
Simeon threw 50 passes. They had like 90 penalty yards. These Thursday games are such garbage. They need to start weighting some of the. A win against the Browns should be a third of a win. Like we need to start putting tabs on stuff.
I was really excited because last week I said to you that the San Diego reminded me of the 1980 Pats season.
Yeah.
Where we lost every conceivable way. And I was like, we even lost the game on a Hail Mary. That's the only thing the Chargers haven't done yet. And then there was a Hail Mary situation at the end.
Right.
Chargers gave up the onside kick. It was 21-13.
So bad. They were
and Simeon's doing the Hail Mary, and he did this like chicken wing Hail Mary. It went like 30 yards. They should have brought like John Elway in to throw it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, you don't see that. You'll see them underthrow the Hail Mary, but you don't see it like out of the end zone too much.
No, he underthrew it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Buffalo at Miami. Last early game. I promise.
So you made Miami one of your sure thing picks.
I did. Scary. They always play a good team well at home when they look down and out. I wasn't very confident in it. I certainly didn't think they'd win the game, but that was a what happened to Pittsburgh that game? I don't know.
It just had all the makings of the Steelers putting up 40 and should they bench Tannehill or not. I didn't see that one coming at all.
Well, it's when you can protect him. He's not bad, Tannehill. You know. Like,
Well, where's
when
this?
He doesn't get sacked 6 times a game.
Who's the guy? Ajayi?
Fine.
Joe Ajayi?
Yeah, over 200 yards.
Who has him in our fantasy league?
I'm not sure.
This is yet another reason why fantasy football is just the worst. Somebody picked him up for like $1.
He'll be okay.
200 yards.
That'll be it for him. This is a 3rd game in a row at home, the Dolphins.
Yeah, they were it was a month-long stretch where they never had to leave Florida, which could go either way.
Yeah.
So I have this is Bills Dolphins, right?
Bills Dolphins.
Yeah, I have the Bills by 3.
All right, you
and
get
I like
that
the Bills.
exactly. Wow, you're beating me up. I said 2.5. It's exactly 3.
I like the
You
Bills.
like the Bills.
I think they're the good bad team this year. Mm-hmm. I think you can make a case the good bad teams are Washington and Buffalo.
You don't think they're the good team?
Which one?
The Bills. I think they're good.
That good bad team you can be the 9th best team.
All right. I don't know.
They might be good. McCoy looks great.
Yeah.
And it's funny,
Scores every game.
we said this last week too, but we made so much fun of them for switching the coordinator. And meanwhile, this new guy's like, he's kind of figured out how to use Taylor and McCoy together.
So stupid.
No Sammy Watkins. No Watkins, no Des Bryant, and these teams, both teams playing better.
Right.
Strange.
What's the Cowboys, the ultimate Ewing theory? With no Dez and no Tony Romo?
It's pretty good.
I bought a shirt at training camp that says Romo Dez 2016. Presidential shit everywhere, beautiful.
It's
never gonna get to
astoundingly
wear it.
similar to
Never get to
Bledsoe
wear
and
it.
Glenn. This was the same thing with the Pats. No Bledsoe, no Glenn, and we got better.
I hate it. All right, late afternoon, San Diego at Atlanta.
Do you still have you should put the Romo Dez t-shirt on eBay.
I should?
Yeah.
No, I'm holding out for hope. I think I'm wearing that thing.
Raise money
matter.
to get Tony Romo as the next starter again. Let's
How
make
dare
Dallas great again.
How dare you?
What's the next one?
Scary game for Atlanta. San Diego at Atlanta.
Are we in the late games
We
though?
are. 3 late afternoon.
Falcons by 7.
I said 7. Also, it's 6.5. We split that one.
That seems like, let's throw the Falcons in every tease. And then you're like, oh my God, Phil Rivers is going to throw for 500 yards.
We made a great tease. We made our teaser 8 minutes after the podcast last week. Patriots, Steelers.
Pat Steelers, put them with the Bills, and then put them with the Cardinals.
Arizona. I still like it.
Dan Quinn on Atlanta, I liked when he ripped his headset off.
Yeah.
He looked like a serial killer.
Yeah, he was a madman.
Every year there's one coach who looks like a serial killer, most memorably Brad Childress, who might have been a serial killer.
Right, yeah.
This year it's Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is like, in 20 minutes left in the movie, the detective goes to his house and he answers, and it's just covered in
Good for
newspapers.
him. That's a big game.
Yeah.
That means they might have to go to Seattle again in January, you know? Like, weird.
They better beat this Chargers team.
Tampa Bay at San Francisco.
Well, the Falcons are 4-2, right?
Yeah.
Nobody else has more than 2 wins in that division.
Are you crying?
I just had a hiccup.
More than 2?
Yeah, they have a 2-game lead in that division.
Yeah, 1.5.
New Orleans.
Tampa Bay and New Orleans are both 1.5.
Right. Yeah, they have one more game than them.
Yep.
Atlanta's home games are San Diego, Green Bay, Arizona, KC, and San Francisco.
They already beat New Orleans, right?
Road games are Tampa, Philly, Rams, Carolina, New Orleans.
They lost. I mean, if they lost to Tampa twice, that's a problem.
I don't know what to. AFC South might be a 9-7.
Yeah.
What's the next
Tampa
one?
at San Francisco.
Tampa at San Francisco. I got the Bucks by 2.
I had, man, you get it. I had the Bucks by 1. It's Bucks by 2.
I didn't see a lot of the Niners game, but by all accounts, Kaepernick was just terrible.
Yeah, he looked like he is throwing the ball for the first time ever.
And I think Chip Kelly, Lombardi and I talked about Lowe last week. I think Chip Kelly knew it. Like, he even said, like, weighs 10 pounds less than he should, and he had all these disqualifiers even before they put him in there.
The Niners gave up, I think, 312 yards rushing. Just that's a bad team.
He's getting dangerously close to, and I mean this in a positive, happy way, to the Oscar Gamble afro. Did you see his afro last night?
Yeah, and I don't want this to sound the wrong way, but I don't know how that fits in a helmet. Someone needs to explain. I want to see the science
They might have to
behind
get a bigger helmet, right?
Yeah. It really
Maybe
all just squishes down
put
like
it in
that?
braids?
Something.
I don't know.
It doesn't seem to be bothering him, though. He's doing a great
Incredible
job.
afro. Really.
Doing a great
Moochie
job
Norris.
out there.
I give Moochie Norris never gets the credit he deserves for.
yeah.
He was the first one who brought it back
Right.
in the early 2000s. And nobody was even thinking that way until Moochie.
Right. All right. New England at Pittsburgh.
Oh, man.
I think you're up 1 on me with 3 games left.
So I guessed this before I knew about Landry Jones. Mm-hmm. And I had Steelers by 2.5.
Well, you
and
could
now I
change- you
have
change it. Go
Pats.
ahead.
Now I would say Pats by 3.5.
All right. I said Pats by 6. And it's 7.5.
Holy shit.
Yeah, you have a good team. Congratulations, finally.
What do you think it would have been if Roethlisberger was healthy? I think they would have been favored, right?
But yeah, by a couple, 2 or 3.
2.5? So it's a 10-point swing
That
from
seems- that
Roethlisberger to
seems
Landry
high.
Jones.
That seems very, very high.
Jesus. I don't know.
But you know what? It's not, though, because like we discussed last week, Roethlisberger goes to the end zone 10 times a game.
Yeah.
And that's just not going to be good with Landry. Like your odds of succeeding with Landry on those spots are not as nearly as good.
There's a way for them to beat us with Landry Jones. The thing I would say is that the Patriots own the Steelers and have for years.
Wow.
They just do. You have certain teams that you own, and they've had unbelievable success against the Steelers. And but I do think there's a rest. The Steelers could get super creative with Le'Veon Bell and Brown and slants and just do ball control. Like I think it's a winnable game for
They'll
them.
be up for it. In fact,
I don't
it's
think
in
our
Pittsburgh.
defense is that good.
It's a shot. All right, the night game, the Sunday night game.
Oh, wait, hold on. Before we go to night
Oh.
games, we got to talk about Sonos really quick. The smart speaker system that streams all of your favorite music to any room or every room. You could have Chicago. What are your 3 favorite Chicago songs?
Chicago?
Yeah. 25 to
25 or
64.
64, Beginnings, and
Yeah, that could be in the living room. Beginnings could be in the
Old Days.
kitchen.
I like Old Days.
Old Days could be in the patio.
Really?
Yeah, you can play
Why
them
did you
in-
pick Chicago?
I don't know. I know you love Chicago.
You know I have a weak spot. All right.
Control your music with one simple app on your phone or your iPad or any other device. You can fill your home with pure immersive sound or pure immersive Chicago, however you're feeling. Sonos brings your music together in one simple app. It's all your favorite music services. You control everything from the choice of songs to the volume to the rooms to the amount of Peter Cetera that you need. Play your music in any room or every room at once, or play a different song in the living room, bedroom, or bathroom. Play the same song in every single room. How can you have a party without Sonos?
can't.
Halloween party, you might have to get Sonos.
Yeah, let's do it.
Seriously, how? Add your existing music services or discover something new. Go to Sonos.com right now. When Peter Cetera did the Karate Kid 2 theme song, were you happy for him, or did you feel like that song could have gone to Chicago?
Like a knight in a shining armor from a long time ago. Yeah, that could have been a Chicago song.
My kids like Karate Kid 1, so we watch Karate Kid 2.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Two?
You seen that movie? 2 is
It's great.
awful. It is not
Coward.
Just there's like 2 good scenes, but it's like over 2 hours.
Is it that long?
And it's just about the Japan trip and and hey, let's do this, and it's like being on somebody else's vacation. It is horrible.
He snuck on the plane, He wasn't even supposed to be on there. He's missing school. He ditched the whole semester to go on this trip.
And what parent would let their kid go to Japan with
I
the
know.
janitor?
Yeah, she had problems at Mrs. LaRusse.
Mrs. LaRusse had a lot of problems. Bad mom. All right, night games.
Seattle and Arizona. This is weird. They get 2 home night games in a row. That doesn't usually happen. They have one tonight and then Sunday night.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I have Seattle by 3.
Oh, all right. I'm going to get this. Actually, I had it exactly. Arizona by 1.5.
Yeah, I think Seattle should be favored.
It's going to change tonight, right?
Unless the Cards really lay the smackdown against the Jets.
Right.
Seattle's good.
Yeah.
Seattle's a good
Short
team.
week. Maybe you're right. All right, Monday. Wait, let's add these up. 5, 6, 7, 8. You need this to tie.
Okay.
Houston at Denver. Brock Osweiler's revenge.
Revenge against Texans fans. I had the Broncos by 6.
We do tie. It's 6.5. I had 5.5.
Ooh.
Second tie in a row. There you
Brock
go.
Osweiler comes home.
We don't like any teasers, right? Or do you like, man, Kansas City, New Orleans is tough too. You wouldn't take Atlanta. You don't feel great about Atlanta. You don't feel great about Kansas City.
The Packers' money line is intriguing.
Cincinnati's winning too. Cleveland hasn't.
Did you see what Hugh
haven't.
Jackson did in that game?
No.
They scored to cut it to 9 with like 3 minutes left, and they went for the 2, and he missed it. So then there was a 2-possession game with 3 minutes left. I never understand that. Just cut it to 8 and then go for 2 when you have the momentum at the end.
Right.
I never understand the whole let's decide our fate now.
He's getting the tank call from the GM. Like, hey, what are you doing here? Yeah, come on. It's
Who's
only
the
week
number 1
7.
pick? The Louisville guy, or is that guy not eligible yet?
It's tough now. Now there's a bunch of guys.
A bunch of guys?
McCaffrey, yeah.
Tate, who's the number 1 pick? Who's Carolina going to take?
Tate's crying.
Tate, don't cry.
Could be Watson. Could be Jackson. Could be any of these quarterbacks, right?
It's just whoever fits the season. I mean, probably Watson, right?
Yeah. Right.
Who do you have for your bottom 4 right now? I had the Bears, Jets, Niners, Browns.
Niners for sure. Browns for sure.
I think Bears and Jets are
Bears
next
and
two,
Jets.
right?
If you didn't just make the Carolina joke, I would have jumped on it there too.
Panthers, I had 5th worst.
Right.
They certainly have the worst defense.
You say the Jets over I guess.
I think the Decker thing really hurts them. I thought Lombardi made a good point last week about how their offense is built to throw to these tall receivers, and now they don't have one. And now what do you do?
Yeah.
Where do you go?
They're going to cover. My Don Julio shot of the week says they cover tonight.
I'm trying to think, is there anything else we had to cover? Mike McCarthy, first coach fired. I talked about that before the season. Remember that was my big sleeper?
Right.
If they lose this Thursday night game and then they have 10 days off, that's when you would do it,
Yeah,
right?
I guess so.
Have to talk about that. Remaining quarterbacks on the Patriots schedule? Jones, Landry Jones, Tyrod Taylor, Russell Wilson.
It's going to depress me.
Kaepernick, Keenum, Flacco, Simeon, Tannehill, Fitzpatrick twice.
Yeah. Well,
It's
what
not
are you
going to
worried
impress
about?
you because we have the AFC East.
That's true. What are you worried about? You're going to win 13 games.
Nah. Are there 8 good NFL coaches? That was my last topic.
NFL coaches?
I
8
had
good ones.
Belichick, Tomlin, Carroll, Reed, Kubiak, Harbaugh, Zimmer, Bruce Arians. 8?
Yeah, that's good.
Does that sound like 8? So there are 8. So 25% of the coaches are good.
You said Tomlin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Tomlin.
Yeah. And Kubiak comes back. He didn't coach last week, right?
Didn't coach last week.
Yeah. It's funny. I was thinking about Jeff Fisher and how they won their first. They were 3-1, whatever the Rams were, because their defense was locked down and their offense was in the bottom quarter of the league. And now their offense is picking up.
Yeah.
And they're 3-3. I think they just have to be 8-8. It's like when your body is telling you have to be a certain weight. Like you could diet or you could eat a lot, but you're kind of just going to be within 5 pounds. That's it. They're 8-8 or 7-9.
It's a zero-sum game.
Yeah.
Something has to give at all times.
Exactly.
Thanks to Sonos, the smart speaker system that streams all your favorite music to any room or every room. Control your music with one simple app at Sal's Halloween Party and fill your home with pure immersive sound. Add your existing music services. Discover something new. Go to Sonos.com right now. Thanks to 5-4 Club. Remember, they will provide you with stylish clothes every month. Go to 5-4 Club and use code BS for 50% off your first 2 months. 54club.com, code BS, FIVEFOUR. Don't forget about Any Given Wednesday. We return at 10 p.m. on HBO with 6 straight weeks of shows.
Nice.
Bob Costas, Al Michaels, and Vince Staples. Unfortunately, we're going on against a debate.
Oh, Wednesday
I'm not
night.
sure if the first episode is going to do that well, but eventually you'll see it. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out theringer.com and our ongoing and Mammoth NBA preview. Don't forget about our podcast feeds on the Ringer Network and Keeping It 1600 pre-debate, post-debate on Facebook and Twitter on Wednesday night. And then Thursday, check our website for all the details on that live show. What do you got, Sal?
Jimmy Kimmel Live tonight. Ewan McGregor, Kobe Smulders later in the week. Tom Cruise, Tilda Swinton, Gal Gadot. Who's the Wonder
Gal
Woman?
Gadot.
Gadot.
Fast and
Sorry,
Furious.
I should say that right. Right. She's the new Wonder Woman too, right? Gary Johnson, Benedict Cumberbatch. And we're going live. We're doing a live show after the debates, not to compete with your show, but
Like you're coming at 11
we're
o'clock?
live. We're on.
What time would that be?
8:35. We're shooting. It's the first time we're live in like 14 years.
8:35. Oh. So
Yeah.
11:35 ET.
Yeah.
Is it on live on the West Coast?
Yes. Well, no. I mean, you'll see it. No, it won't be live. It'll be live for the East Coast. We haven't been live since the Punisher dropped the F-bomb. We had it right. The censors didn't catch it 14 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Jimmy and I told the story on Saturday about how the the drunk live audience
Yeah.
and how the lady puked right in front of Michael Eisner, and that ended that ended it. And then Daniel chose that as a hill to stand on, fighting for the
Of course.
audience to continue to be drunk. And I knew nothing. I was like, this is a bad sign, right? The guy who runs the show is going to die on this hill.
We still do.
Our viewers should be drunk.
The New York Times did a documentary on like on our first few months
Yeah.
and everything, and there was that big meeting and about like Daniel afterwards, and he wouldn't take no for it. There's a round table of miserable producers, like 50 of them. Daniel's like, we are drinking in the audience, and DeLuca, our supervisor producer, is like, soft drinks, Daniel. They're allowing soft drinks.
Coke.
Daniel throws his pat in the air. What a time! Check in Cousin Sal's short thing this Friday. I was 2-1, 11-6 on the year, 10-6 if you don't want to count Pat's money line last week.
Yeah, we'll count it.
$5,000 prop bet challenge. There'll be a new one thanks to Facebook and Dollar Shave Club. And that's that.
11-6.
Yeah.
Really solid. Good
Thank
job
you.
by you.
Good job by you.
Anytime y'all want to see me again, rewind this track right here, close your eyes, and picture me rolling.